I heard about Mushishi anime for many years, but the synopsis didn't seem that appealing to me, so I basically forgot about it until a few months back. I actually watched it to see why it is so well praised by people, and to tell you the truth, Mushishi is in fact nothing special. Why? It doesn't try to stand out, nor does it feed us with anime standards like Mo or fan service. It doesn't have flashy action, hardly any at all in fact, nor does it have an excessive amount of blood and gore. In fact, this in itself is what makes it stand up. Its tranquility and taking things at a calm pace is what makes Mushishi so great. Yet in a way, it is also what makes it a bit off-putting for some people. Many struggle with wrapping their heads around a specific folklore that is entirely different from the cultural roots of their own country. It can be really a hard task for the ill-prepared minds that nevertheless want to explore all facets of any country's folklore that captures the entirety of how its cultures evolves from its roots to the present. There haven't been many shows, or anime for that matter, that have handled folklore with the level of atmosphere and creativity that the show Mushishi has to offer, and for this, we have to be thankful for its existence. Its beautiful existence, to be more specific. Setting wise, Mushishi is set in a world where neither humans nor animal lives. They are basic, pure, in touch with very essence of life. They are called Mushi, and they are often capable of performing supernatural phenomena. And naturally enough, there are humans devoted to the study of Mushi. They are called Mushishi. And Mushishi anime follows one of these Mushishi. Yeah, right. Mushishi doesn't have a continuous story. Rather, each episode features its own small story where Ginko, our main character who is also a Mushishi, encounters a new Mushi and the problems it causes for some humans. The 2 or 3 episode characters are usually portrayed very meticulously to the viewer, giving us decent enough information and emotion to make them realistic. An impressive feat considering that they have around 20 minutes to expose them to us. Usually, Ginko tries to help others with his knowledge and to gain more also. But at this point, Ginko is really set apart from the standard hero, becoming more of an anti-hero type of person. Whereas most of the time, all the shonen heroes would never give up and go all super determined, Ginko knows when enough is enough. And if he can't do anything more, or if it's pointless, he tells everyone that it is, and then leaves. In that, Ginko too fits in with the calm of Mushishi. He never lets his emotion rule over his sense of reason, and he knows when to stop. As formulaic as its premise may sound, no two incidents are alike, and every episode features not only different Mushi, but a different setting and cast as well, with Ginko as a constant exception. Because of these, the series is able to experiment with various concepts and human relationships, and none of the story has ever ended in a predictable manner. As such, there is very little room for stagnation as each tale manages to be unique and refreshing. Ginko is really the only recurring character in the series, though his collector/doctor friend Adashino does show up now and then, but that is also very rare. Each episode contributes to a different situation involving different people in a different place, and they almost never have anything to do with one another. Naturally, this means that exclusive cast of each episode remains pretty generic. There is a generic little girl and a little boy character, the young woman type characters, the young man type characters, the middle-aged woman, the middle-aged man, the old woman, and the man. Sure, the individual characters may have unique characteristics depending on their situation, but for most of the part, the cares, worries, and priorities of each of these archetypes are standards. I didn't really mind though. After all, their situations did set them apart from one another, and as almost all of these characters lives in a small, self-sustained villages, it's conceivable to say that their lifestyles made them very similar. Ginko as a protagonist gives us a little more depth and insight into his personality. but even he remains a mostly enigmatic character for the length of the series. His intentions are generally altruistic, but there is more to his actions than that. Actually, I wish Ginko's thoughts and personal feelings about Mushi are touched on more. There are definitely morals and deeper philosophies involved, but they are only touched on in 1 or 2 episodes or so. Still, those are the episodes that gives the Ginko the most personality, and I think it's very easy to relate to him as a result. His quirky habits and mannerism are kind of endearing too. And he's just a fun character to watch, and he's just easygoing, very fitting for this kind of episodic series. Accompanying this lovely setting is what most people will probably remember Mushishi for. It's art. The landscapes and sceneries portrayed in this anime often takes place in natural or villages environment only, which are extremely breathtaking. Yet they are not extremely vivid. They don't hit your senses with vivid coloring and all that. No, they are more pale and plain, while still procuring those memorable sceneries. This also allows it to induce a more peaceful experience. The soundtrack must of course not be left out, because that too plays a major part in Mushishi's calmness. The soundtrack usually bases itself on a single mellifluous instrumental theme for each episode, which plays throughout the episode and at the end credit scenes. The opening song is also very lovely and as serene as the rest of the soundtracks, and the show as a whole too. The voice actors too do a great job of keeping with the peaceful feeling of Mushishi. They have also very calm voices, and even when upset, screaming or crying, it's not in your face or loud. It's calm yet very evocative. Mushishi is a show that cannot be done justice by just talking about it, and that you have to experience it for yourself to see the qualities come full force. It certainly did for me. Watch it before you go to bed, or anything that has to do with trying to make you reach into a state of tranquility. It should prove worthy of any acclaim to people who have been interested in the pure Japanese mythology that this series has created for itself. Overall, if I will talk about the enjoyment, there is this wonderful reverent serenity that permeates everything about this series. The lingering look at the landscape, the semi-monotonous speech of the characters, the slow, deliberate pacing of each episode, and most especially Ginko's quiet, unflappable calm. All of those elements help create the atmosphere of profound stillness and ease. I feel like I walked away from each episode somehow refreshed and rejuvenated, and I love how everything in this series fell in line with the theme. It's not uncommon for the story or the characters to carry the show, but here the sound and the art are just an essential conveying idea and emotion to the viewers. Like I mentioned before, I love it when everything in an anime points to a same direction, and there's nothing superfluous stacked onto it to interfere or to dilute the message. Brilliant, just brilliant. But I will tell this again that this isn't for the people with short attention span, probably. I'm sure a big chunk of people will find it boring watching grass grow, and that's fine. It isn't for everyone. But if you would like to take a deep breath once in a while, this is definitely worth checking out. And that was my review about Mushishi anime. If you have watched Mushishi anime already, then let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Let me know what do you think about Ginko, the characters, other characters from the series, the world building and overall setting of this anime. And that's for today's video guys. If you enjoyed this video, then don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel, because I post daily anime content about top 10 top 5 listings, anime reviews, recommendations, news, theories and all sorts of anime content on daily basis. So if you enjoyed, please subscribe, and that was it, and I will see you in the next one. Sayonara.